Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. We're going to give everyone another minute to join, and then we will get started. Okay, we are going to get started. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us for our first forum session under our advanced track titled Advanced SEO, Comprehensive Overview and Latest Updates. My name is Alice, and I'm going to be your moderator for today. While we would have loved to have everyone in person this year, we are excited to be able to offer this series of sessions virtually to our clients. We hope everyone finds value in the session today and that you come away with some takeaways that you can apply to your own website and digital strategy. One quick housekeeping item before we jump into the presentation. There is a questions panel in your GoToWebinar toolbar. You can feel free to submit questions throughout the presentation today, and at the very end, we're going to be going through and answering as many of your questions as we can. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce you to our two speakers for today, Vince and Kevin.
Hi, my name is Kevin Williams. I'm an SEO and pay-per-click specialist at American Eagle. I've started here in June, but I've been working in SEO and digital marketing since 2004. Welcome to our presentation, and thank you for joining.
My name is Vince Scarlatta. I'm an analytics developer and SEO specialist here at American Eagle. I've been here at American Eagle for about 22 years now, I know. And so we're gonna start everything off by going through the past of SEO and what is SEO. I know it's a basic question, but just hold with us for a second and we'll get to that part. So SEO past, what was SEO? Content was king. We wanted content that was compelling, authoritative, thorough, optimized, with enough backlinks to really boost your actual SERP score. And then now we're going to look into what's actually the future of SEO. So the future of SEO is indeed content is king. It needs to be compelling, authoritative, thorough, optimized, with enough backlinks to actually make your site an authority on the topic. So what we're trying to say is that's right. Foundational SEO items have not changed from the beginning. We always want to make sure that we are building on top of the foundation that is good content and good usability for the user.
So when I think of advanced SEO, I think of a key question, and I think it's the question that Google asks every day. And I think it's the question that should inform every website's content strategy. And that is, why did the user make this search? Google's goal is to provide users with the most relevant and rich selection of quality content based on why each user is searching. Updates to Google's algorithm are made to provide better results for each user's search intent. So when we take a look at keyword planning, topical research, the context of why this person is searching for this, we try to assess what the user's perspective is to be able to determine what type of content is needed to be able to rank and do well on Google search. Some of the areas where we can take a look and get information directly from Google or from other sources to inform our understanding of search intent would be the autocomplete search results section. People also ask section, the searches related section, or just using keyword research tools, thinking from the customer's point of view, utilizing surveys and review systems, looking into online forums, threads, and communities, looking at what is already ranking well for these searches and what topics are potentially missing from these rankings. So when you start to look at a group of keywords associated with the topic, you start beginning to see the information architecture that would be required to kind of rank for it. But really what you're asking is, for in this example, if I was going to create a sports blog for the Chicago Bulls, one of the first things that I would be writing about and creating as far as a page and structure would be Chicago Bulls championships. But but you have to ask, why are they searching for Chicago Bulls championships? Are they looking for a video of the game-winning shot in 1993? Are they looking for statistics from their dynasty? Are they looking for, you know, information about Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and stories about the championships? So asking the question of why is this user searching for this is going to inform what your in-depth content is going to be about, and it's actually going to inform how you're going to be able to rank on the first page of Google. It's not necessarily connecting keywords with keywords on a page with the keyword that someone's searching. You're connecting why the person is searching for that keyword with the content that they need to digest and understand and get into what the topic is that they're searching about. So from search intent, we kind of transition into in-depth content. And really, ranking on first page of Google is highly correlated to comprehensive coverage of an entire topic. So if you want to rank for Chicago Bulls on your sports blog, then you'll need thorough content covering the variety of interrelated Bulls topics as it pertains the user is looking for. The average organic search result on page 1 of Google contains an average of 1,447 words. So you really need to write in depth and cover all aspects of the topic in order to rank as best as possible. Is the topic, so we end up asking ourselves questions when we're thinking about the content that we're putting out there. And I think these are some of the questions that help inform in-depth content and help us rank better. Is the topic covered in an in-depth fashion? Did you include all of the relevant and related subtopics? Is the written content more than 1,500 words? Because that's about what average is for first page of Google. Is the content broken up into sections with keyword-rich headers? Again, going back to a variety of different interrelated search keywords related to the Chicago Bulls, you know, you're going to want to create headers and sections associated with these in-depth pages that are associated also with what people are looking for. Is the content easily digestible? Are you using images, video, bullet points, diagrams, GIFs, memes, and other interactive content to present it in a way that is digestible and also is concise, but also fully explains the entire topic? You know, are you really truly addressing the search intent of the user, or are you just writing a paragraph based on one header and not necessarily truly conveying what the topic is about and good information and quality content? And that's really, you know, what the focus has been around as far as Google's recent updates and as far as Google 10 years ago. You know, content is king, and in-depth authoritative content that is broken up, digestible, offers a variety of multimedia interacting content. That's how you're going to win as far as content development and a content strategy. So another hot topic, and kind of search intent brings us to this, I think, because voice search is different than desktop or mobile search, and you really have to think about the search intent when you think about voice search. Common voice search queries include asking for music, weather forecasts, fun questions, other online searches, news, and getting directions. So those are a little different than mobile or desktop search. But I think that as we start to develop and as voice search becomes more popular, it is going to shift to be a little bit more like mobile. A lot more people are going to be using voice search for e-commerce, for example, and we're already seeing a huge growth in e-commerce for voice search. And considering the popularization of smart speakers, smartphone interconnectivity, voice search in modern cars, it's clear that voice search is still an emerging and growing technology, even though it is pretty darn popular already. So how do we optimize for this growing search audience? Voice search is a bit of a duality for optimization. Although most of the voice search answers average only 29 words long, the actual word count for the average voice search result is 2,312 pages. So Google is taking small snippets of information from long-form content. So optimizing for voice search is similar to optimizing for rich snippets. In fact, about 40% of answers from voice search are actually featured snippets. So to optimize for voice search, we must provide in-depth content like we would for conventional search, but voice optimized content should also feature key information that's broken up even more into concise, easily digestible formats. Question and answers, FAQs, definitions, specifications, features, different things like that should be written out in a concise, easily digestible way that explains it without a lot of sales lingo or anything like that. Content with high levels of social sharing performs much better in voice search. Page speed is a huge factor for voice search, whereas page speed doesn't play as big of a factor in mobile or desktop overall. The page speed of voice search pages is about 4 times faster. So that is a definite ranking algorithm for Google Voice. Finally, publishing and optimizing your business on local directories like Apple Maps, Google Business, Bing Places, Yelp, Foursquare, and Infogroup helps to ensure that your business information is distributed in voice search directories. So I thought another good topic to go over would be local search. And I think it's interesting to take a look at the history of local search and how that helps to define how we optimize for local search, and then taking a closer look at Yelp. I think local search kind of started in the late 90s when you had Yellow Pages, shifting to being digital and offering category and location oriented search. So yellowpages.com launches in 1997. We have smartphones connecting to the internet in 2000, TripAdvisor launching in 2000, and huge growth in smartphone use and internet use in the mid 2000s, corresponding growth of location-based searches because people are on their mobile phones and able to use the internet on the go. They're doing way more location-based searches. So during that period of time, the growth of location-based searches was outstanding. Search engines begin featuring a lot more local content. Google Maps launches in 2005 with the Map Pack coming up in search. Yelp launches in 2004. And at the same time, you have a whole bunch of different websites that are launching that are leveraging local business data that they can get and creating these different Yellow Page websites or local listing websites that are based on category, location, search optimization. Well, to kind of combat this huge amount of new websites coming out that aren't very content rich, Google develops a robust group of local trust signals associated with their local search algorithm to feature the best businesses and websites and weed out a lot of these generic listing websites. So in reality, one of the things that you as a SEO for local search have to do is combat the concept that your page is just another generic website or generic listing of category location. And Yelp is a good example to go over, I think, to be able to understand some of those local signals and where you can develop them in order to rank better for local SEO. Yelp appears in the top 5 search results for 92% of Google web queries that include a city and business category. So let's take a closer look at some of Yelp's ranking signals. So Yelp is supremely focused on fresh user-generated content. Their homepage has reviews of the day, recent reviews, recent collections of businesses that people go to, recent activity. They have forums. They have user-generated reviews and collections. They date stamp their content. They even add last update October 2020 in some of their category page titles. They're focused on internal linking of optimized category pages. So from every single business on their website, they link to a near me category page associated with that category, and they also link to a top 10 best category page associated with the category of that particular business. They have a great network of categorization page listings by town and neighborhood. And some of the local trust and ranking signals that they use on every one of their individual business listings includes local address, phone number, hours, cross streets, which is so simple, but it's such a great local ranking signal. A Google map, directions, the neighborhood the business is in. Where nearby businesses and what towns they're in, local users, user-generated and business photo, user-generated and business reviews, user-generated and business reviews. So, you know, all of this information is being sent to Google, and it's verifying that this indeed is a local business, and all of these trust factors are really important to get past the many types of websites that are optimized for category location search. Business page titles include the business name, full address, category, neighborhood, phone number, and total reviews. They're going way beyond 65 characters, and they're including a lot of this information that is relevant to local search. Category page titles include top 10 best or near me suffixes and prefixes with the primary category, city, and the date of last update. So again, fresh content, user-generated content, lots of local signals. And all of these things, I think, help to inform us when we look from a business standpoint on how to optimize for local search. Your store locator or other local oriented page content should include automated reviews. And if you don't, or if you're looking for a partner for automated reviews, that's definitely something we help with. We have automated email marketing experts under our digital marketing team, and a variety of other experts to be able to launch this type of system. But you should be getting product and business reviews automatically, you know, an email outbound. You should be generating photos for your businesses and publishing great content on a local level. Your local store locator should include the address, phone number, hours, city, neighborhood, cross streets, map, directions, nearby towns, nearby other stores, and it should link back to a location category page, perhaps by state or region, to be able to really pass those trust signals onto Google and say, hey, we are a local business. This is a unique page that isn't just another directory page, and we offer the type of content that people are looking for when they're looking to digest whether or not they want to go to a local business. So, you know, of course, you want to optimize, again, your on-page SEO elements like your page title, your H1 tag, and that sort of thing for that main category and the location that you're trying to rank for.
So we do actually have some new developments and algorithm updates for this year, and those include the May 2020 core updates. I know that it's obvious of what algorithm updates go on throughout the year. We just want to make sure that everyone's up to date with exactly what came through. So the May 2020 core update is a pretty heavy update. It was the second heaviest ranking fluctuation on record, and it was basically on search intent relevancy tuning. There's also two other ones that were pretty big this year. One is the featured snippet deduping on January 22nd, and that made sure that if you had information that Google was using in a snippet and it was shown on the first page, they were removing your SERP result off of that first page because they explained that they thought that it was duplicating data. Basically, that the result itself allows you to go to your website plus the SERP result. So they removed one of those to make everyone on a level playing field. The other one is the BERT update, which actually paves our way forward. It's a algorithm and hardware update to support natural language processing, so a little bit less heavy lifting on Google's end when it comes to searching with voice, as we talked about previously. There's also the COVID-19 pandemic that came through. While not a algorithm update, although that would be awesome, basically what it did is an increase the amount of people that were using the internet on an ongoing basis. We've really shifted over to people either going through and using the internet more or actually purchasing online more also. And that leads us to the automating your SEO reporting. Now, I know that we've talked about previously what's new, what's old with SEO and everything else, but without an actual reporting or that is a way to report this information, we're really not doing anyone justice, right? We're just going to throw some changes onto a website and then hope for the best, which we don't want. And most likely anyone's boss doesn't want also. So here at American Eagle, we have a couple reporting tools that we use. The first one I should say is Google Analytics. It actually allows you to set up automated report emails via share. So basically dashboards and other elements within Google Analytics allows you to see common information as to users and look for any drops that are happening, right, with those setup alerts of major shifts in traffic. The next one we use is Data Studio. Data Studio actually works with Google Analytics and other third-party tools to allow all your information to go to one place. We're actually in the middle of changing a lot of our reporting here to be moved to Data Studio so that the information that's on there is actually live. And even though we're giving you a monthly update of what we see, you have all that information also, so you can actually create that story yourself too. The next one we want to talk about is SEMrush. SEMrush is a tool for all SEO, or all SEOs, I should say, that allows you to automatically track your actual keywords that are happening or where they are within the actual index. And basically how many people are coming in also. So this also allows you to go through and scan the site for anything SEO-wise that might be a large negative. And then the last one we're going to talk about is Google Search Console. Now, Google Search Console is getting into the very specific end of this data. Basically, all the other tools that we use are on one side of the equation, right? It's basically how a third party crawls your site and how a third party sees your site. Google Search Console actually allows you to look at that data of impressions, click-through rate, positions on Google's end. So we have on one end using SEMrush to actually look at those keyword rankings. And then in Google Search Console, it actually allows you to see specifically what Google sees. Not only is it going to show you that type of information, it's also going to allow you to look at very technical information on the website too, to make sure that pages are indexed correctly, or if they can be indexed correctly altogether. So now that we're done with the actual reporting of said data, let's look at on the horizon of what's going to happen with SEO in the future. One of these items is going to be the Core Web Vital update. Now, this slide's going to get a little bit dorky, so just stay with me here. Basically, Google wants all websites to be as fast as possible and be respective of their users. It's always what they've said. Whether or not you want to debate if Google is pushing people one way or another because of ads, that's a whole nother story. But basically, at its core, Google always wants its users to get to their information as quickly as possible. These three pieces of information that Google is looking at, the largest contentful paint, the first input delay, and the cumulative layout shift, are three core elements that dictate how a page is shown to a user. So in the future, when we start looking at this information, as well as the front end information of content, we can really make sure that we're giving our users the best possible version of the website, and Google will actually reward this. Moving on to the extreme future of Google and search.
So is the future of search augmented reality? What we've seen, right, is Google Glass came out about 7 years ago, and as a consumer product, it really didn't ever develop that well. There wasn't a good turnaround to purchase. There wasn't a lot of inventory, and there wasn't a lot of demand for Google Glass. But I don't think that that was necessarily because it isn't the future. I think that it was more associated with that there's a lack of development for the operating system. There's a lack of development for applications on the device, and there's the lack of technological advancement that I think will be needed in order to really see augmented reality devices in the mainstream. So currently, augmented reality glasses are used in healthcare, logistics, manufacturing, and other business industries. And there are new augmented reality glasses coming out. And I do think when you're able to have the full array of applications that you can on a smartphone or other device, you're going to see a lot more consumer interest. And as more devices come out, that's going to bring the cost down of augmented reality devices. And I see this as the future. You imagine using voice search at the same time as using an operating system where you have a heads-up display and you're able to use your hand motions to navigate through the internet, kind of like the 90s movies Hackers, perhaps. But how do we optimize for augmented reality then? So definitely would use voice search as a focus for the search engine aspect of it. So optimizing again for rich snippets, having a lot of in-depth content with easily digestible, concise statements around kind of the key points and aspects and of the products, having a fast page speed. Again, voice search page rankings are often 4 times faster than regular desktop or mobile page load. And then socially engaged websites that get a lot of social sharing. You're going to want to optimize for in-the-moment experience. Someone walking around and having the glasses augment their surroundings with suggestions and local business information. You want to provide photos, quality photos, all of your local business information. 360-degree photography would be a good bet. Again, optimized page speed. Developing user-generated content like reviews and other things like that, and providing these types of local signals that we've suggested would be good for voice search. Again, I think would be good for augmented reality glasses. But is this truly the future? Time will tell. The first iteration of augmented reality glasses failed as a consumer product. I think with the development of a better operating system and applications and future technology, we're going to see this as the future. So next steps, are you curious what keywords your website is ranking for? Are you looking to rank higher on search engines? Are you looking to develop more in-depth content? Are you curious about what your competitors are doing and what's working for them? Are you interested in more details on anything that we talked about today? If you can please fill out the survey at the end of the webinar. We do offer complimentary audits of websites and do take a pretty in-depth look on those audits to be able to identify SEO action items and different things like that. We have a great digital marketing team here with a lot of awesome content writers, SEO, pay-per-click specialists, email marketers, digital marketers, photographers, you name it. You know, we have a great team here to help out. So we're at the Q&A section. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kevin and Vince. We know that was a fast-paced webinar here, but I think you guys did a great job and gave a really good in-depth overview for our attendees. So like Kevin said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the Q&A portion. And just a reminder, if you have any questions, you can drop those right into the questions panel in your GoToWebinar toolbar. It looks like we have a couple here. So first question somebody wrote in is, Yelp is the worst and keeps taking my reviews down. Is there anything I can do?
So yeah, Yelp, it's usually a love-hate relationship with business owners or digital marketers. Oftentimes they point to you know, having to pay Yelp in order to keep your reviews up because they keep filtering out my reviews and that sort of thing. I don't think that's the case, but they definitely do filter out about 50% of their reviews, and there are ways to improve that. One, there's the check-in offers. So when you check in at the local business, Yelp understands that and they see that, and that is a good way to make sure that you keep that review intact, because Yelp physically sees that the person's in your location when they do the check-in offer, and that we've seen associated with a much lower filtering rate. And then making sure that you steer people in the right direction when you're asking for your reviews, or in your automated email system, perhaps ask them which platform they want to use. Do they use Yelp? Give them the option for Yelp, Google, or your own website reviews to be able to generate the one that makes sense. If they're a Yelp user, then they use Yelp. You're going to end up getting more Yelp users reviewing you, and you're going to end up getting less filtering. If they don't use Yelp, never have, don't have them sign up for an account just to get another Yelp review filtered. Shift them to Google or your website.
Great. One more question that came in. What are some great ways to generate backlinks?
So backlinks it's kind of a difficult concept to just generate a whole bunch of backlinks, right? You can't just tell people, give me a backlink, right? You have to really develop the in-depth content to be able to do that. It is good when you're in a routine of developing content to have contacts from a news perspective, local news, regional news, that sort of thing, or bloggers associated with your niche industry. Have a group of contacts that you send your new in-depth articles to. Beyond that, it's a really good idea to go through the process of optimizing your local listings and you know, updating Apple Maps, Google, Foursquare. Info Group has a great is a company that's a data aggregator that distributes to a lot of different verticals and different things like that. You go to expressupdate.com to update Info Group, but making sure that there's unique content out there on a variety of different business listings, and those making sure that those are linking back to your either store location pages or your website is one way. You know, getting in touch with your local city website, or you know, getting in touch with you know, the BBB or other different websites, and getting a backlink that way makes sense. But overall, if you want to generate a whole bunch of backlinks, you really have to focus on creating great content and making it easily shareable, and then, you know, sending that off to a good group of people within your niche that would maybe write a supporting article about that and backlink to you.
Great. Sorry, Vince, were you going to add something?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna add in, it's always nice to be sociable too. A lot of times people are looking for those harder to get backlinks, and a lot of those are gotten through you know, networking within LinkedIn and outside of the company too. So when you talk to those people and you're actually engaged and you are, you want to actually swap those links, it's actually a better way of going through and actually getting those links is by a personal touch, really. That way we can actually get those links back to our websites and, boost up our SEO.
Yeah, and Google did verify that they do no follow backlinks as well. So a lot of those social shares and backlinks that are no follow are actually contributing to the value of your website and the page rank of your website as well. So just in general, yeah, social sharing is great too. A great way to either get backlinks directly from the social site or just get that type of engagement so that people can see the in-depth content that you're providing in order to maybe put that up on their website or link to it from their articles.
Great. So it looks like we're out of time. There were a couple of questions that we weren't able to get to today, so we will be following up with you directly to get you answers on those. But thank you again, Vince and Kevin, for taking us through today's content and for kicking off our advanced track for our forum. And as a reminder, we do have several more forum sessions coming up this month. There's a listing of those sessions up on the screen here. If you haven't registered yet for one of these sessions, it's not too late. You just need to go to Americaneagle.com /forum-2020, and you can still register for any of these sessions. So thank you again to everyone attending our virtual session today, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Yep.